take a moment to arrive, pick up your instrument, pick up yourself. Often we're just dragging, kind of like dragging along. So take a moment to center yourself, your compass in your spine. This is the axis, the spine, your spine. Then your horizontal is the hips and shoulders. So you find your center. There's a proper way that's not about appearances, but it has to do with your biology. with the subtle connections going on inside your inner world. So take a moment to center yourself, tune yourself. We'll chant Om together one time. Inhale deeply. For a moment, be still. To be at home. To be at home is not a philosophy or a religion. It's not even an activity. State of being. That you feel at home. When you're at home, you're not thinking, I'm at home, I'm at home, I'm at home. No, there's a kind of a depth, a relaxation, a connectedness. Like when you get into bed, and if you have a beautiful bed, a wonderful, comfortable, delicious bed with clean sheets, when you get into that bed, you have a ah feeling. So that same you feel in your body, at home in your body, at home in your heart, at home in your mind, here and now. Because it's not a story. To be at home is not a story. It's not an idea or a word. It's not something you can check off. It's not a checkbox. And so it must be here and now. That home must be here and now. It can't be anywhere else. If it's anywhere else, then it's not home. It's just a story about something. So yoga is this art, the art of being. Being means to be at home. The mind can never get you there. No amount of thinking will conclude in being at home. It will continually spin and carry you away from your center. But underneath the thoughts, already that layer is there. That layer of peace is not, you can't touch it with thinking, but underneath the thoughts, that there's a deep presence. So all you need is to tap into that. It's not to fix something or to add something. Actually, that depth is within everyone, everything, that pure aliveness, that spark of aliveness, that intelligence that's in the seed and the tree and the plant and all of creation is alive within you as well. And so to be at home means not in the story, not that we've memorized the script and we've memorized the story and we can explain everything about our past and what we have, everything. That has nothing to do with to be at home, to be yourself. To be at home is in this level, at the depth, beyond good and bad. Beyond the past and future, there's an essence. And so it's very simple, it's very natural. Until recently, it was almost impossible not to be at home. Recently means maybe 100 years ago, 150 years ago, something. Some places still today. You have the whole scale of evolution present in this moment. Even the super advanced beyond, and Elon Musk is not super advanced. That's just kind of like an exacerbation of the mind and mental capacity, but not integrated within all the other layers. But we have from the most basic reptile and primate human to the most advanced superhuman. The whole scale is present on the planet, but within time unfolding before all this communication, electricity and everything, and before we're bombarded with all these stories of other people and all these expectations and everything, and traveling continuously and new faces and everything all the time, then our field of experience was much more contained. And so we were living in harmony also with the cycles, with the day and night, with the seasons, with the food. Right now we have too much choice. And so as a result, we can never be grounded because we've lost that connection. So that's why laughter, playfulness. This is the key. That's why we need to spend time in community, intergenerational community, with the children, with the young people, with people of all ages, and also with animals and plants, because only then can we really understand. Understanding is not information. Learning to be present is not information. No amount of collecting information. Information is not love. No amount of information studying about love and everything. No, we need experience. We need the direct experience. And so through presence, we can experience, and to be present with this life, right? I could say, oh, there's a tree there. There's a tree. What's the tree? Tree is just an abstraction. It's not real. Or there's a chanre tree. But actually, this is not just a type. This itself is a living, breathing, evolving organism. And so there's a whole aliveness here. It's treeing. Right? And so my mind is always creating abstractions and separating me from the infinite depth and layers of reality and what is alive. And so we can't trust the mind. Mind can't bring you to that experience of peace or happiness or love. But when you merge the mind back in the state of being, of presence, to be at home, to be present, then there's an awakening from within, an inner knowing, an inner wisdom, an inner aliveness. No, it has to come from within. Outside is information, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting. But the real wisdom, the real intelligence is already in your cells. It's already operating in your heart, in your organs, your whole body is an operation of the superintelligence of life. It's not your intelligence. You're not controlling anything. If you did, you would be dead within seconds. We can't do it. So the same way this body is operating under that intelligence, also all the other layers, your heart, your mind, everything. All of the creation, actually, not just within oneself. And so the yoga, it's like gardening, right? It's a relationship between the oneself and the life, where really life is the one. Life is doing the work. The garden is growing itself, right? This body it grew itself. And so if we can honor and respect that, and co-create, work together with this intelligence, work together with this power. Where does the power come from? Where's the energy, where's my motivation, my inspiration, my creativity, my willpower? All this, if we can tap into that essence, we can train, the same we can train our muscles, we can train the willpower, we can train our nervous system. Like you can, like a ninja, in martial arts, you can train a poise to be, we can train our poise in daily life. The way that we listen, the way that we breathe, the way that we move. And by training that at that level, that will harmonize the way you sleep, the way you digest, your whole rhythm. It's life rhythm. Life is a rhythm. Life is habit. Everything we do is habit. So we're just reprogramming the habit to be favorable habits instead of unfavorable habits. And really, everything is already inside. What's needed is not outside. We can't buy it. Imagine you could buy it where? Amazon? Not possible. If it was, the people would buy it. No, but that connection must be established within oneself. In the spine, in your breath, at the outside. If outside, it's never enough, right? Our whole life is based on outside. Our possessions, our job, our relationships. But so far, what it seems like it's never been enough for anyone, not once. So what are the chances that it will be enough for me? If no one's ever been satiated, even with so much money or power or whatever, it's still never enough. So it would seem almost impossible that it could be enough for me. Unreasonable expectation. So that enoughness must be somewhere else, not in the objects of the world, not in the goals and achieving goals. Otherwise, the goal, you get the goal, it's enough, but it's never enough. It's already, even before achieving, it's the next pushing, keep always over there. And so what we're saying is enough is not over there, but here. To be present here and now, this is the highest state, the ultimate state. To be at home in yourself, this is the highest state of realization. This is enlightenment. And then to live from that place is enlightened life. Enlightenment is not like a Superman, like an extraordinary, like superpowers and put on the mask and the cape. Enlightenment means just to be in the flow of life, to be natural. Like the great sports players, that gracefulness, like we see in nature. All of nature is enlightened. And so only we are in this constant confusion. Who am I? What should I do? What should I eat? What should I say? Where should I go? What does it mean? What are they doing? All this constantly. And the answer is never enough. It's never enough, even with all the books. How many books are there? How many universities? How many scientists studying this and that? Still never enough. So it must be somewhere else. The goal must not be over there. The goal, if it's not there, then it's here. There's two possibilities. We have the path of here and the path of there. There means the past. Many people living from the past or the future. But the trip is that actually there is no past. My idea of the past is not the past. My idea is whatever I know is a tiny fragment of the totality of everything that's ever happened everywhere. I have little tiny fragments that I weave together into some story, but my idea of the past is not, it couldn't be further away from actually what is the past, which is everything everywhere. And nobody else can ever see or know what I call the past. No one. Can't even come close, even someone living with me. So is that the past? So I can't even experience the past because the past is everything, and I have I see a tiny fragment, and even what I see is skewed, is a distortion, like a map. Every map is a distortion. All my concepts, all my memories are distorted. What I remember, it keeps changing. So what is the past then? There's no objective past. It's everything everywhere, but who can handle that? Even a tiny fragment of my own life, I can't, even nothing. Some little parts that stand out, I make that, and I call that the past. The same in the future. The future is nothing that I calculate certain projections based on limited information about a tiny fragment of nothing. It's the future. No one can share my future. No one can see it. No one can know it. And my future is definitely, my idea of the future will never happen. It's impossible. So past and future, but we say the goal is over there. In that imaginary past and imaginary future. And here and now is just a stepping stone and a way to get there. Don't worry about here and now. It's just a means to an end. It's not important. Over there, the pot of gold is over there at the end of the rainbow. But who has reached? This is the question. If it's possible, then fine. Wonderful. But what if it's a hoax? What if it's false? What if it's not true? What if it's not possible? No matter how hard we try, how good we do, is it enough? Can it be enough? Not even is it. Is it possible that it could be enough? Then and there, we call once upon a time. So what about here and now? For sure, this is like, the game is like they blow the whistle and the game starts. Then you have to play the game, then you're on. So when is the whistle? When is game time? Was game time last year? When does the season start? Is this just the warm-ups? Is this the trial season? The game time is here and now. And if you're always thinking about the last game or the next game, you're not gonna be able to enjoy this game. In fact, it becomes like you become a liability for yourself and for others. So here and now, we don't have to choose. You don't have to choose. You can have both. You can have the path of here and now, and you can have the path of then and there. It's not mutually exclusive, but if we only have then and there and are lacking in here and now, then it can be a problem. Because again, happiness, you can be happy, you can experience peace here and now, not then and there, not in the mind. Thinking about peace is not peace, and no amount of thinking about peace will ever lead to peace. I promise. No amount of thinking about love can bring you to the experience of love. But if the moment you stop thinking, stop cutting life into pieces, and start to breathe and relax and listen with your cells, then you experience that wave of love that you are, that's flowing in your veins. The blood flowing is love. The breath being breathed is love. The food being digested is love. The sun shining is love. The water flowing is love. The birds birding is love. Love is the language of life. Time spinning is love. So it's an experience, a rhythm. Same with peace. It's not a thought. What does it mean? Then your team wins is peace, or my team wins, or both teams lose, or both teams win. What's going to happen? When there's a game and one has to win, one has to lose. So peace has nothing to do with the winners winning and losing. Peace is the layer underneath your breath that's supporting you, the layer underneath your cells, the support of existence, which is holding all the planets and stars in their place. At that layer, when you merge your mind back into the source, then that itself is peace. In tuneness. To be in tune. Peace is not disturbed by anything. It's not disturbed by birth or death, by ugly or beautiful. It's not the peace that's the outcome of some situation. It's not a situational peace. Unconditional peace. It's a substratum of a mind. Like a book, you have a book, so many words. Imagine you erase all the words, then you just have the space. The page underneath the words is the peace. That page is there before the words. The words are only on the surface. In the same way in your mind, the space is there prior to the thoughts. So the space, when you rest in the space and you clean the space, if the space is full of trash, all kinds of negative thoughts and emotions and everything, then you have to clean that space. And that's what the whole practice is. We call purification. Clean your inner space, your inner home. The same way you clean your room. If you never clean your room, never ever clean your room, and you have piles of trash, and and old food and dirty dishes and dirty clothes and the bed, everything smells and it's all thrown all over the place. How do you feel when you walk into that space? Do you feel at home? You want to invite people into that space? So inside we have the same thing. We have to take care, we have to organize. Organize your mind. Clean your mind. Clean your senses. Clean your heart. If it's possible, that's the thing. Right? You say, no, it's not possible. Then what to do? If it's impossible, then there's nothing we can do. But if it's possible, then some people say it's possible. The yogis have said that it's possible. And they stand by thousands of years of scientific study and observation and research. And so I've experienced in my life also very much that it's possible. And in the last 15, almost 16 years of working with people from all around the world, we see that no matter what's going on at the surface layer, if you're able to connect, be rooted in the core of your being, then you can tap into, then one automatically, that aliveness, really, that you are that aliveness. That aliveness is you. It's not like there's a protein somewhere and I want to put the protein inside me or something like that. It's like you are an expression of the aliveness. And so when you're connected with that, right, it's not like something coming externally into you, it's that which is within you awakening. The same way the atom bomb is, you split the atom, the energy is already inside of there. It's not adding something, it's contained. The energy is contained within you, in your spine. So by working with your spine and your breath and your brain and your anatomy, and cultivating a beautiful, awesome, right? We want to be awesome. We want an awesome like soundtrack. We want a good, nice soundtrack. And people are doing it because we know everyone wants to be awesome on Instagram. Everyone looks awesome, and they put nice music and they pose very nicely, right? But we want that for real. We want that inside that vibration, that aliveness, that beauty. The beauty is spilling out from inside. It's not for others. It's not for approval of others. That's spontaneous. That's to be in the flow, to be at home, to be spontaneous in that spontaneous flow of aliveness. With inner beauty. Inner beauty can express many things. Inner beauty expresses kindness, or creativity, or just flow. And so, for sure, everyone is seeking this. So let's do it for real, not just a show. That's the practice. The practice is to establish that as the way of life. To make that the habit, right? We've done it. We made the habit of being anxious, full of anxiety and stressed and fearful. It's a habit. We repeat that through our experience. So now we have to train something different. Don't worry about that. You forget about that. Now train to be present. That will fall away by itself. Whatever else it is will fall away. You don't have to deal. How do I deal with my anxiety? No, don't deal with it. Deal with being present. Rooted, at ease, present, it will fall away by itself. It's digested. It served its purpose. Everything serves its purpose. It's protected, now it served its purpose. You change the channel on the radio, the old channel is gone 100%. It doesn't come into the other channel. When you change the frequency, when you change the pressure, and you adjust your center, you calibrate yourself, then that old state the thoughts can't come into the new pattern. It's a different pattern. It's not a bypassing. It's digested. What happens? You eat the food, you digest it. Most of the food you eat is waste. 95% of food is waste. What to do? You have to get rid of it immediately. So not 95% of our experience is just the waste, is fodder. You extract the essence, and you gotta keep moving. The next meal has to be eaten. What to do? Even the best meal, you eat the best meal ever, Imagine you can never forget that meal. Always remembering, that meal was so good. This meal sucks compared to that. Every day you eat a meal, but you can't enjoy the meal because you're always thinking about that other meal that was so good. Or the opposite, a terrible meal, the worst meal ever. It made you sick. And whenever you think of it, you want to throw up. And you only think you can't forget it. And every time you eat, you're worried, is this meal going to be just as bad? Maybe this one will suck just as much. So both, you have to, whatever it is, you digest it and you forget it. It's digested, it's integrated, and it's part of you. You can't hold on to the details. Imagine you had to remember every meal you've ever eaten. Imagine you can never forget. You eat it, you forget it. The same thing in daily life, the interactions, situations, relationships, everything. You eat the meal, you digest it. Most of it is waste. Get rid of the waste. Don't live, otherwise you're living, most people, this is true, physically, full of shit. Everyone's full of shit. Right? The intestines, everyone's belly like this is not fat, it's shit caked in the intestines. Constipation, indigestion, all these things. So we don't want to be like that physically or mentally or emotionally. So 100%. That's why you need the inner fire. Strong digestive fire, then the strong Jama Adagni, Bhuta Dagni. The strong inner fire for digesting thoughts, emotions, life experience. Then you turn it into fuel, into compost. That's why we recommend daily practice for cleaning, for tuning, for power, for awakening. If you had to play baseball every day for your whole life, all day, every day, I would recommend you should go to baseball camp. You should do some training, for sure. Especially if the game's a little off, right? If it's somehow something's off, then it's safe for sure. If you have to play baseball every day, all day, or you have to play like the harmonica all day, every day, then for sure, go and do some training, and then warm up every day. Warm up, make sure your instrument's in tune. Check your bat, whatever, check your harmonica. And then it's just whatever, you warm up and get in the flow, and then for sure, it will, somehow the quality of your experience will be enhanced in some way. Maybe you're able to contribute better, or maybe it's just more enjoyable for you, maybe both. If you have to golf for whatever reason, you just have to, every day, all day, every day, then for sure, you have to really, really master how you hold, how your stance, the way you breathe, everything, the flow, for sure. You put in the time and effort, and then to make sure you really, So if you have to be yourself all day, every day, especially, right, I like this analogy, if you're playing ping pong all day, every day, and then after 10 years, after 20 years, instead of getting better, you're getting worse at the game. It got harder to play. Imagine you're doing it every day, playing the violin, but somehow it keeps getting harder and it's more difficult, and you can't play correctly. You have to say something is wrong, something is off. Either misunderstanding about the rules of the game, or something about the technique or the instrument. Something is wrong. So this is the yoga for daily life. It's not a yoga. It's not a circus. It's not proving something. It's not to prove, look what I can do, right? It's about the integration and training to be present. And then you have to see, is what I'm saying, presence is the key for all this, for creativity, aliveness, all these things, love. But you have to investigate and find out. If it is, that would be awesome. That, again, that's like miracles. That's miracle level. If we can train, and through that training, we can learn to be grounded and stable, stabilize our mood, our willpower, to be more efficient, to not overthink, that would be unbelievable. If we could learn to be still and feel peace, feel peaceful, that's wonderful to experience that every day. Like you have a beautiful smell that you smell. To experience peace is such a beautiful, like a beautiful flower. So This is the framework. It must be experienced directly. You have to experiment and then see. What I'm saying sounds reasonable. At least it sounds reasonable to me. But you have to consider and then find out for yourself. Question. What can I do against the pains in my legs during meditation? So one, you have to prepare yourself. It's like you're playing like squash, and you're like, gosh, my arm hurts when I'm playing. Yeah, you need to do before you play, or as a training period, you need to strengthen your arm, you need to stretch. And so that's why we do the asana, that's why we do these things, is because over time, you are stretching and increasing so that you won't have that pain. The pain is not the problem, the pain is just a signal that there's some tightness or blockage. And so you need to work with that. Right? One way of working with that is through stretching. Right? Another way is to assume the correct posture when you're meditating. So if there's pain in the legs, maybe the correct posture is sitting in a chair like this. Then there's no pain in the legs, right? Because again, meditation is not the posture. You know, until you, through daily practice, are able to repattern the flow of blood and energy in your legs and your nerves and hips, then maybe it's better to do that. Then the other one is then to work with that pain. Instead of a pain being pain, let pain be a sensation, and label the sensation and stay with it and breathe into it. And practice being comfortable in the uncomfortableness. So instead of like, oh, that's painful, oh my God, my legs like this, then it's like, okay, you feel the pain and then take a step back, recenter with your breath, and then again, look at it. You feel it's like a, and then try to slow your breathing down as you observe that space and make it less, and then maybe, and then it comes back and you watch it again and you take a step back, and then it becomes unbearable and you shift your posture. But you have to work with this pain threshold, the uncomfortableness threshold, because this is what's controlling in the daily life. We're controlled by this anything makes it a little uncomfortable, then we contract and we run away or we distract ourselves, something like this. And so this is what you're doing in the practice. It's not I'm successfully sitting like the Buddha, right? It's that by edging, right, with that uncomfortableness, but maintaining my composure, my poise, my center, my breath, then it's like strengthening a deep muscle, your resilience muscle, your these roots, but then you're also becoming rooted in your power. So instead of the external phenomena of life controlling you, right, you're able to stand in your power and meet that in a way that's useful for you, right, in a way that respects your boundaries and your own unique. And instead of just like from the world, then you're rooted in your center and your power, because you're working that edge of uncomfortable. Our whole life we're so in the modern time, it's like we because of all the what do you call these soaps? It's like now the littlest thing we get a disease, because we've gone so intense in terms of the cleaning everything, then we've lost that natural resilience. And so and now everything's so convenient. We get everything when we want. We can eat anything, the fan, the AC, electricity all the time. We've got water running, generally there is an active war going on wherever we are. And so now it's like, everything and so that's what we're, by training in these small mini experiments, which only last 1 minute, and you do a few of them, but in those few minutes, right, in a biochemical level, in the functioning of your brain and nervous system, you're creating a totally different pattern, totally different loop, totally different map. And then if you do that again and again and again, then that's the same. If you train how to hit forehands, again and again, every day you pick up the racket, you go and hitting forehands, then I promise after a few weeks, right, it's almost impossible not to hit the forehand properly. Right? Because it becomes muscle memory. The being present must become a muscle memory. Not a thought, not like, oh shoot, not that again, I should have been present. Right? I should have been more peaceful. Damn. shoot, how did I do that? Why did I do that? Right? At that level, it's not possible. You can't, no amount of punishing yourself like this is, you can't be present. It's not at that level. At the deeper level, it's always there, that peace and presence. At the ego level, it's always fluctuating. So that's the key. So in order to enter into that depth, you have to train to be uncomfortable. It's not about being uncomfortable. It's training to be grounded and at ease. They seem to be in conflict. Grounded, but not tight, not tense. No, rooted, expansive. Right, with the good of the stable pressure, contained. Right, alive. But at the same time, not tense, not tight, not squeezing. Right, this is the same. How to go to the toilet. You can't be tight, but you can't be too loose. How to go to sleep. It's the same, like this. To be in the zone, to be in the flow, to be in the flow, to be in tune with yourself. Sounds good. If it's possible. Question. Sometimes in life you are present with different paths to choose. How do you know which one to choose? Yeah. So the deeper knowing, or what they call sometimes intuition, or the higher mind, right, is not speaking with words. It's not like words and weighing the pros and cons and all this kind of thing. Instead, it's a feeling. The same, like I said before, you hear someone singing like these birds chirping and so nice, and you feel this, right? Then you hear these guys drilling with their machines or whatever, or someone playing like death metal, and it's like, whoa, you feel something, right? And so every moment you're having that, with every thought, every reaction, every person, everything, every object, every word, every memory is attached this kind of or right? Or neutral, right? We have neutral, we have the three. And so the key with the inner knowing, right? Because deep down we know. Deep down there's a knowing, but we're disconnected. Why? This is my hypothesis. When we were young, when we were children in the West, right? When we were infants, and our parents felt that it was time to eat, then they force us to eat, even if you're not hungry. And so you're feeling the internal signal, not hungry. But you're getting feedback, negative feedback if you respect your own signal, positive feedback if you do what you're told to do. Eat now. Now it's time to eat. Same thing with going to the toilet. Toilet time, you have to go. Right? And sleeping. The three major things: eating, sleeping, and going to the toilet. Then we're forced to do according to someone else's schedule. And so if that clashes with our own internal signal, then we learn in that moment on negative feedback to listen to my own signal, positive feedback to do what the person wants me to do. So we start this people pleasing in relation to most basic function of life: eating, sleeping, and going to the toilet. And so we stop to listen. We don't trust our internal signals anymore. So in order to do that, you have to be quiet. It's not through thinking. That will block you from that. You have to first forget everything. Right? Not even thinking about whatever the decision is or the different options, just to be completely quiet, completely blank screen. We have to know how to come back, how to be in that state of ease and presence. And then from there, listen. Just listen in your heart. And around something you feel this or you feel right? Or maybe you don't feel anything at all. Sometimes it's not time to know yet. You can't force something. Sometimes you have to wait. There's still process. You can't force that inner knowing. And so in this process, there's a couple things. One is just being quiet so you can listen to inner voice. Then two is learning to trust it. Because at first then I can't trust it. So there's a whole process around that. Then the third level is acting by it. So listening and then trusting and then acting. And life will provide plenty of opportunity and will slap you around continuously until you learn to listen. And to act by that, for sure. At least that's what happened in my case, very early. And so it was like, okay, when that kind of, it's a kind of inner clarity, it's very different than a knowing that comes through thinking, for sure. You can feel there's a difference, It's very different. It's not about computing information. All the time now we're just calculating information. Nowadays with the ChatGPT, then Google, right? This whole memorizing information and stuff, or like some kind of witty calculations, right? That's meaningless. So education is not about information. Education is a rhythm, a skill, a way of life, an integration. So we need this life education. And so this is part of life education. How to listen to your inner knowing. How to breathe. How to be still. This is, we were cheated in a way. As the hooks, they tell us, work harder, keep going, blah, 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 and you'll get there, And it would seem that actually that's not true. And so this is why we recommend to dedicate a little time each day, like a garden. If you had a garden, if, let's say, someone gave you a garden, what are you going to do with it, right? It's this, now you have the garden, you can choose. You can take care of it, and you can make it beautiful, or you can neglect it and just let it go. So what are you going to do? You have to take responsibility for the garden. And so this is a garden. It's alive. Question. Do I need to drop everything and immerse myself in yoga and meditation if I want to find inner peace? No, you only have to drop the idea that there's something to get, that there's something in the future that's going to be better. You have to drop the idea that it's better over there. This is that we think it's better over there. Somehow over there is better than here. So if you can drop that idea, then immediately you find inner peace. To be at home, here and now, is peace. But to find it's not a big deal because it's everywhere. It's like I say, it's substratum. It's underlying everything. Even underlying the anger is the peace. Under all of this, because it's the center of the wheel, right? But what the difficulty is then to live from that place. Finding it, no biggie. Find God immediately. You can experience that immediately. Highest state of enlightenment and bliss. But can you integrate? Can you bring that back with you into your daily life, into your body, into your words, into your eyes, into your relationships? So that's why we're doing the practice. And my recommendation is 2%. 2%, that leaves 98%. 2% is only 30 minutes. That's enough to maintain that connection, that rhythm. However, right, that's for householders. Householder means someone who has a family or is working in the world, everything. But for someone, there's a group of people who want to become teacher, whatever that means, yoga teacher or to be healer or something, or people who really want to dedicate their time to go deep, then I would recommend 20%, 5 hours. Still, that's not a biggie, right? I grew up playing classical music. Classical musicians practicing 3 to 5 hours a day from the early stage. Sports players are practicing how many hours a day at a high level? And so this requires even more. But it's wonderful to meditate. All right, 5 hours, what's that? Two 1 hour slots of meditation a day, half hour journaling a day, 2 half-hour asana sessions, or 1 hour asana session. All right, sorry, up to 1, 2, 3.5 hours. No, reading the books from this stage is half hour. Pranayama and different cleansing practices, taking a walk in nature. 5, that 20% is low, actually. 5 hours minimum, in my opinion. And so, but that's for, if you want to transmit that peace to other people, or you want to teach that or something, or you want to help, but for oneself to tap into that layer, that depth, to be rooted, grounded, I think 2%. And then when you can more, that can grow. If you find that it's good, right, then you can add a 1%, 3%. It's actually, you know what? Many people, when you wake up in the morning, what do? Take a shower. And you take a shower, you feel alive, ready for the day. So the same, the practice is like taking a shower, waking up your cells, your blood, your nervous system, your spine, your breath, your heart, your mind, through these movements, through tension, release, focus, breath, right? If you start the day in that, you know, in that way, then that will carry through to the day, right? The same, like you take a shower in the morning, feel good, right? Then after a long day, right, lots of stuff happens. Then again, most people take a shower because we have all that of the worldly stuff on us. So you take a shower and you feel lighter. So again, you can do a practice, even a short practice, even 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, you do sun salutation 2 times. That takes what? 3 minutes. 2 minutes breathing, 5 minutes meditation stillness, 10 minutes practice. But by inserting that program into your loop, right, then it starts to unwind, unravel all the other stuff, right? But it's not that you have to practice the full day, but when you insert that pattern into your system, it's working even after the fact. When you activate the holds and the spine and the breath and all this, then that system is activated and it continues to process and digest that over the course of the day. And I would say that whatever we truly yearn for, right? And I don't mean lip service, like, I want to be peaceful or happy, because everyone says that. But how we dedicate our time and how we organize our life, right? Because if my whole life is just working and money, and so then what I'm really worshiping, what I really want is money. Money, what? Because of fear, security, whatever it is, so something like that. But if in my heart of hearts, I feel like, no, I must have peace. I must have that peace. And all day, every day, I'm thinking about that. The same way, I've seen some people, I grew up in a place I played baseball, and some people love baseball, you know what I mean? And they memorize all the stats of all the players, and all they're ever thinking about is baseball. So if you think about peace with even a fraction, even half that amount of intensity, and sincerity, then for sure, whatever you think, whatever you're looking, we want to be beautiful, we want approval of others. All our energy is burning into getting approval of others, but everybody's just thinking about themselves anyway. Even approval is meaning, it's empty. It's the best is empty. Better you feel at home in yourself, and then it's just like flowing from within. The beauty and aliveness is flowing from within, like a child. This playful aliveness is a childlike state. All the great sages said, first you must become like a child. Buddha said, Christ said, and everyone else. Everyone has always said. Question. You often talk about being yourself and being authentic. Who is that? How does one know who they authentically are underneath societal training, messages from others about what you are, roles you get stuck in, etc.? Exactly. That's it. Who is it? Right? It can't be known. So you just have to live it. When you drop thinking about it, when you stop editing and formatting and like this, and you let go, then you are that. You're living it. It doesn't need to be described. It can't be. Imagine each life having to assert itself, define itself. That's the trip. We're stuck. We're trying to be a character. We're trying to fit some character that's for someone else. That we've been told to be like this or do that or get this and this is good and that's bad and everything. And so that's the trap. Then we're nothing. It's fake. Right? And so when you're yourself, it's like the sugar doesn't know it's sweet. Happiness doesn't have to be happy, doesn't know itself. When you're truly happy, you're not thinking about happiness. You're just in the flow, you're alive. So it's to be in the flow, to be yourself. This is we're putting it off. First I have to figure it out, and I have to know who am I exactly, and what's like that. It's impossible. At best you have an obituary, right? What's an obituary? Or you have some biography, like even a big biography. The biggest biography, is that myself? Is it myself? There's no answer. That's the answer, is there's no answer. The question, who am I? This is the whole approach of yoga, who am I? I'm on the spot. The answer is there's no answer. But you have to, the mind stops in that space of no answer. And that which is who you are. You have to be it. You can't know it. That's the paradox. But we've forgotten how to be. We're trying to get it right. We're trying so hard to get it right, to be right, to get the approval of others. How should I do? How should I look? What should I do? And like this. And so that is killing your authentic self. I can tell you that much. How to kill the self? By trying to be someone. So when you stop killing the authentic self, then of course that's what there is. Underneath everything is the authentic self. All the masks come on top of that. But the authentic self can use the masks also. There's no, that's the thing, is that it's not an activity or a way of being. It's not, my authentic self isn't like all the time nice to everyone. Like, that's the authentic self. My authentic self isn't like, like whatever, the doctor on the TV that always knows the answer or something. My authentic self is a depth of aliveness that's underlying whatever it is that I'm doing. And so whatever you're doing in life is your life purpose. It's not like I have to find my life's purpose. Where is it? Maybe it's under the bush over there or something. Your life purpose is your life, moment to moment. And so to be present, right, is to fulfill your life's purpose. And so this is a different approach. It's the approach that it can't be known because it's unfolding right now. You're living it. Everybody's trying to write their story because they're afraid of death. They want to leave some mark or something, some story. We're just caught in stories. And we're on the sidelines of life. We need to just get back in the game. That's where you find the joy, is in living the aliveness. Question: how can I be consistent with meditation? How are you consistent with brushing your teeth? How are you consistent with eating your food? Right? It's part of the core rhythm of life. How are you consistent with taking a shower, washing your clothes? So, if meditation is as important as eating food, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, then you link it in the day. It has to be linked, ideally first thing in the morning. When you wake up, before talking, before eating, before going on your phone, you can take a shower first, and then immediately do your practice. The recommendation is you set up a fixed practice, and you do that again and again for 100 days. For example, you say, okay, my practice is spinal sequence, 3 breathing, and meditation. The spinal thing, it takes me, 12 minutes? Each one I use the timer. Use a timer. Otherwise, you can't be accountable. You put the 1 minute and then you do it. 30 seconds one way, 30 the other way, or 1 minute each way. No, you do all the movements, boom. Then, okay, breathing, put the timer. 1 minute, click the timer, do it. It goes beep, 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 beep. Okay. The next one, click, you gradually increase time. Then meditation comes next, automatically. And then you put the timer 12 minutes, whatever, and then sit. And then it beeps, you turn it off. You can sit longer, you can turn it off and stop, and then forget about it. And then you link it, you do the same thing every day. If you have more time, you can always do extra, but you never do less, and you don't change it around. You have to keep it, because it's a reprogramming of your system. So it requires the regularity, right? It's not, you have extra time, you can just do a yoga jam. Like most people, their practice of yoga, let's be real, if it's not in a class, is just doing whatever they feel like. Just get up and it's kind of like stretching and feel a dance, which is wonderful, it's beautiful, be in your body. But this is a training, this is a methodical retraining, repatterning of your nervous system and your biochemistry. And so for that, and habit, of the structure of habit, your habit of how you carry yourself and interact with the world, your rhythm. And so for that, it must be the same thing again and again. Same, like if you're training in a sports, tennis, you do the same running drills again and again. Right? How to pivot, how to run, how to stop. at different stance. You have to do it again and again and again until you master it. And it really doesn't even take that long to master the tennis or the mechanics of the violin. So to master the mechanics of being yourself, if you were to apply yourself, it wouldn't take that long, but no one does it. It's all entertainment. Now yoga has everything entertainment, proving something, acrobatics, like proving you can do it. Oh, look, I did it. But without that regularity, then it comes and goes. It's a temporary release of energy, and then immediately it becomes again the stress. So this is why we recommend 100 days, every day. You make a recipe, you make a commitment also. You have to, this is part of the willpower. By committing to do something, you harness your energy, and then you are able to train your willpower. Really through the practice, daily practice, when you're holding the posture, it's not so much about the muscles and your body, it's more about your breath, but even more it's about your willpower. To do it, even you feel uncomfortable, and to stay present, and then you see, then afterwards you have this release, this like I did it, this rush of like, it was difficult, I was able to be present, and then you get a rush, a high, you get high, literally, this chemistry. And so you do all these postures, each one you get that high. And then with the breathing too, it's alchemy. So you start the day with that high of like, I can do it, even it's difficult, I can do it. At the cellular level, right? It's not a subconscious level, not even. You have a momentum. Instead of this heaviness, not again, not today, like that. It's completely different experience of life. Question, what do you believe happens when we die? Leave our body. Yeah, I mean, even closer, what about when we go to sleep? What happens when we go to sleep? Are we in our body? Are we out of the body? What happens with each breath? Actually, each breath is a birth and death. And so the trouble is we don't know what's happening here and now. What's happening here and now? Where are we right now? Like, where am I within this? Where am I? Within this time and age, like this is 45 male, but where am I within it? We don't even know. And so until we know what's going on here, it's not worth it considering what's going on over there. Right? For sure, something's going on there as it is here. Right? We have many different layers of our body, from the gross body to the subtle body, causal body, and all these bodies. And so there's an essence, right, that perpetuates, that takes on another body again and again and again. And then many things happen in between. There are so many worlds beyond anything we could ever even imagine. But really, we're wasting our time with our curiosity about what could be, and we're losing the opportunity which is right now. What is our opportunity now? To learn, to grow, to evolve, to share, to connect, to create. This is the main thing. We're becoming impotent because we're concerning ourselves with things that are not possible to understand, and then using it as a distraction from being radically alive in this present moment. Right? So everything is pulling us away. So different teachers would talk about death in a different way. Jesus, even Christ, talked about death differently to different groups. The way he talked to the Essene, the way he talked to some in the Gnostic Gospels, right? They're saying that one birth is a kind of teaching, is a teaching point or a trick to get people to get to be active in their lives, right? Instead of just next lifetime, past lifetime, this. If you say it's one and done, then you have to. It's kind of putting on the pressure, and so this has been used at different times, right? Even within the Eastern traditions, but everything, beliefs are only at the surface level. Belief is only surface level anyway. The Rastafari hate that word. No, and either you know or you don't know. If you want to believe, you should investigate to the point where it's known, and if it can't be known, then you have to mark it unknown, not knowable. So belief is trouble. But we have to death is not wrong. Death is an intimate and essential part of the rhythm of life. Death isn't even separate from life. It's one of the phases and cycles of life. Without death, your cells, your every moment is dying. Life is dying. The soil, without death, no life is impossible. No minerals, none of these resources, riches, none of this energy, nothing. So death is now in a modern time, death has become a taboo, and it's somewhere else. We don't see it, we don't know it. And so as a result, we're completely out of rhythm with life because of this constant fear and avoiding of death. But it's happening every day, even when we go to sleep. And so the yogis talk about waking, dreaming, sleeping states, and then the beyond these three states. And so that's why we need to explore. We need to explore everything. Well, then you can know for yourself. Question: how can I maintain the good habits from hairalia at home? That's why we recommend setting up a daily tuning practice. It's part of it, as part of your daily hygiene, right? We consider hygiene, brush your teeth as hygiene, take a shower as hygiene, wash your clothes as hygiene, right? And I agree, but that is a superficial level only. That's only the teeth, the clothes, the surface of your body. For sure, we can expand our concept of hygiene to include your cells, your organs, your blood, your nervous system. We can expand that to include your heart and mind, for sure. Because even we're not walking around with dirty, rotting, and ripped clothes, but your heart is completely like this, right? That's right. We think it's invisible, but actually you can see in the body language. You can hear in the tone of voice. You can see in the eyes of one another. And so we want to be beautiful, but we must be from the deep level, at the core level, not just superficial, right? Not just beautiful for the other, not just beautiful to impress someone else, but beautiful because you're at home within yourself. You see, it's somehow it's different. All the time we want some recognition or approval, and we're seeing ourselves through the eyes of someone else. But when you're at home within yourself, then it's like you feel that wave of beauty and aliveness in your heart. It's not an external quality. You feel in your breath, that love you feel in your breath, the wisdom you feel in your breath. So this is the basic framework. The path of presence. If it's true, if it works, then that would be awesome. And for sure, if you train regularly at playing tennis, you'll get better at tennis, without any doubt. And it will become more enjoyable, and you'll play better. And if you keep playing again and again, it'll become effortless. Flow. In the same way, if you play every day the saxophone, and then every morning you pick up your saxophone and you blow and you practice how to blow and the fingering, and then you practice the musicality, all the things, then for sure you'll get better at playing, and it will become more enjoyable to play both of them. And it'll sound better for the people around you. And so, what if we train the foundational level, breath, spine, stillness, movement, listening, speaking, these core faculties, then it could have a positive impact on our daily life. But no amount of thinking, right, you have to see, no amount of thinking and thinking and thinking will lead you to that place. So, because that place is not somewhere, that place is here and now. And so again, the beginning is the same as the end, here and now. Come back here and now. If you're here and now, then then that's it. But here and now means you're no thoughts. As soon as thought comes, it's pulling you then and there. So to be here and now means no thoughts. You have to balance the prana, balance the pressure, activate your spine. And in the meantime, you catch a glimpse, you get a moment where it's suspended. So it's delicious. This is the sweetness of presence. So don't take my word for it. You try out, you can see. Any questions anytime, I'm more than happy to answer about how to be present. I will take a moment just to be quiet together. Come back to center if you are not. Sit up tall, close your eyes, find your breath. The breath is a good guide to bring you back here and now. The mind is a terrible guide. You follow your mind, you're asking for trouble. If you had a friend that was as tricky and delusional and wrong as your mind, you would never trust your friend. You would never listen to them. But for some reason, we continue to follow our mind down the wrong path. So for a moment, suspend the thinking. No, that peace is not fake. When you that is the real deal. That's the real deal. It's not plastic flowers. That's the real peace. It's not some equation. It's not you have to fix this and do this and be this and learn this and act like this and do that. Peace is a natural state. We'll close chanting Om together one time. Inhale deeply. Om.